we've got another supercar in the game, the grotti furia. I think it's furia anyway. It's 2.74 million, which is 10 grand less than the Project Emirates. But is it as good as the Emirates? You can get it for dead on 2 million. Well, not dead on 2 million, 55k as well. But that's not really much. You get that for completing it with the casino heist. Same with every other trade price that's come with this, and that includes, as you can see, the jugular. As you can see, trade price. So what I want to do is actually see how good it is. Obviously, I can't do it in my job, unfortunately, because it's snowing, so we have to do it in the creator. The reason I can't do it while it's snowing is because it's not fair. I've tested every other car on clean, dry tarmac, and it's only fair that I give the Furia the same treatment. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to load a creation. There it is. Seed. We're going to give it the same treatment, throw it around grapeseed, and hope. Well, not hope, but see if it can manage. Let's test. I've already set this up. I had a quick go with it as well. I couldn't really find much because I wasn't focusing properly, but here we go. Now what I find is that this thing's actually quite quick. It's not, the speed it's not to be scoffed at all. It's actually decently quick. But obviously it could be a lot faster, and that was my fault. Proving that, I'm gonna clip something. I couldn't really tell what it was. But obviously this car is not going to be a record breaker. I don't know if it's competitive either. That's what I want to know. Is this thing competitive? That's what I'm really here for. Because this car looks... my fault. I'm not in zone at the moment. A little bit my fault, that's why I've set it for 5 laps, so it's a bit more. That's why I always set my test for 5 laps. So it's a bit more fair. If I mess up on a few laps, that's fine. As long as I get like a couple good laps in, then we're alright. The brakes seem to be average. Everything at the moment just seems a bit average to me. The car does look quite nice. It does look quite good. It might not be a racing car more than it is a collector's car maybe. Because it does look quite nice. And it's not that, and it doesn't look too big. The part I don't really know where to go with it though. Because there's not really much to talk about this thing. It's not. Lost it again. I missed track on that. I'm really not doing well today. This. I might actually go. I don't know. If this is not slightly sufficient, then I will re-record the video. But if it is, and you are listening to me say that, then never mind, we're fine. It really isn't very fast. It really does struggle to get around some of these corners. and I just don't think it'll be able to keep up with an Emerus, which is kind of its rival in a way. It's 750,000 less. But then we have the Zeruso, which was the last car that I had a look at. The Emerus is the benchmark, and I still haven't uploaded a video on it. I really need to. But the Zeruso is kind of the benchmark for this car. I think I might have just contradicted myself there. I'm not really focusing on what I'm saying. Because the Zeruso is about 800,000 less than an Emerus. This is 700,000 less. So you have to save up a little bit more. But what are you actually saving up for is the question. Are you saving up for a car that can hold its own against top tier races like the Emerus, like the Krieger, like what else is pretty good? Tyrus, I guess, is quite good. That's quite old. It is still pretty competitive though, I would say. In races like these, Tyrus is still quite competitive. I reckon it can manage. In the right hands, it could manage. But back to the Furia. It's, as I said, it's 2 million. It is a lot, even just for a supercar or hypercar or something like that. But even so, I think this can hold its own. I think I might have got some lift off oversteer there. The spoiler is actually broken now, that's how much I beat this thing up. I do push cars when I test them. But if we knock those 3 seconds off, if you knock the seconds that I was off, this, I don't know, it might manage, but we'll have to have a look at the fastest time to see whether this can actually cope against cars like the Zeruso. The benchmark time, I reckon, for like properly competitive cars is about a 132 for this. 132 or near 132, so 33. 33, that kind of, around that time it would be acceptable. And I think this car is a bit damaged, so it might not perform how it should. In fact, I don't know, I might use it just to give it a chance. So I can go one more flying lap, but nope. Right, with mistakes. That's kind of the ish time for this. Yeah, it was a lot of crashes. The handling seems fine. It seems quite good. It's not, obviously it's not perfect, but it's not terrible. The car doesn't seem to understeer as much as it seems like it is. It's strange. Because it will turn quite well. It won't turn like left, right, really sharp. But the handling seems to be quite smooth. At times, like at high speeds, going around tight-ish corners. Well, I say tight-ish. Like corners that do turn well, flat out, kind of like that. It does feel tight, kind of, ish. But as you can see, a 134 on an almost perfect lap, that is not bad. I reckon because of the slipstream in the game, which is basically like Formula 1 DRS, in this case, it's ridiculous how much of a boost that gives you. I reckon I could keep up with the likes of the Russo, maybe the Emirates, maybe the Krieger. With some upgrades, that might actually be a decently competitive car. That feels like a modern Turismo R, in a way that it's kind of competitive. It's not super competitive, it's not gonna keep up with legends. Like let's say the T20. It's not gonna keep up with them. But it can manage. It can manage. With a bit of upgrades, the car will become pretty damn competitive because of the grip. And the grip there seemed again a bit. It seemed average. The grip wasn't terrible. It didn't understeer. Off the track every time I tried to take a corner. It didn't oversteer. It didn't spin out on me all the time. But it wasn't amazing. It didn't seem to floor. The car doesn't seem to floor like how I expect. I'm still not sure though. I feel like I don't know. I don't know what I think about the car. First impressions is it's decent. It can keep up, as I said, with top tier races. It's a little bit cheaper, but honestly, buy it if you feel like it. It's not that much more to save up. You do lose a couple seconds, but you can easily make them up through slipstream, outpacing other cars, outdriving the other cars, though that you could be racing against. If you're doing like a time based, races, that thing is gonna struggle. It really is. It really will struggle. But overall, pretty good job Rockstar did. It has worked. So I think my recommendation is buy it if you believe you want it. If you really believe that you want that car, get it. I'm not not recommending it. I'm not saying do not buy this at any circumstance, at all. But I'm not saying that it's ultra competitive, it's super competitive. It isn't. It's nowhere near as competitive as, let's say, the Emirates, as I keep saying, or as I keep comparing it to the Russo, which is by far probably one of the best Bugattis in the game. That's by far probably the best grotti in the game, considering, well, I'll have to have another go with the X80. With the X80 Proto, but to be fair, that's not even a real car. That was just a concept. That was just a concept made by Ferrari. I don't think they actually released it. But hey, it's in the game, and it's a pretty good car, from what I can tell. But yeah, I just don't think it's going to be able to keep up with other vehicles. But hey, you never know. Last words soon. There are going to be Formula 1 cars that are going to be in the game. I am going to be. I'm so excited for them. I can't wait. I love Formula 1. It's. I watch it a lot. It's the only thing I actually watch on TV anymore. But I can't wait for them. I can't wait to see what they can do. I've seen bits of them from like PC, because for some reason PC seems to already have them. A lot of people are just modding them in to play with. But I don't think console is going to get them until maybe late February. So watch out for that in about February time. I mean, if they do come out around that time, I mean, hell of a birthday present. So yeah, we'll see. Apart from that, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next review when the next car comes out. Yes, there we go. And I'll see you.